Hi, Rick the Radio Guy here, once again simplifying and demystifying Cisco IPICS. Today we're going to talk about doing an IPICS 481 installation. Now, I've taken some liberties here. I've already loaded the IPICS and the UMS operating system images. I've created a directory on each of the file systems called installer, and I've put the IPICS and the UMS 481 bin files onto the machines. So let's see what we need to do the installation of IPICS. Well, first of all, we'll go over here and we'll start with the IPICS because it's going to take longer because it has a large database. So I'm in the directory. I've got my IPICS 481. Let's do a /IPIC. And I love file name completion. Verifying package integrity, off we go. We'll go over here to this other VM. We'll do a /UM, verifying package integrity. All right, as you can see, the UMS is already off to the races. It's started, it's done an OS check, checked a few other things here, and it's ready to go. So let's say, yes, I am ready to do that installation. Of course, it's going to ask us to read our end user license agreement, and we will, of course, agree to it and type yes. Are you sure you want to continue? Yes. And it's off and installing. IPICS just finished its system check, so you sure you want to continue? Yes, indeed. Let's read the license agreement again, or we can press Q to get to the end. And yes. Now, I'm going to be asked for my IPICS administration password. Pick a good one. You're going to have to enter it twice. And now it wants the IPICS admin user password. I use the same one. Shame on me, but it makes life easier to remember, right? This is for a demo system, not a production system. All right, am I sure I want to continue? Yes, here we go. Now you notice the UMS is more than half done at this point. These bars can be a little bit deceptive. It's not actually telling you the amount of time left. It's telling you how far it's gone in the installation process. And you'll notice that the IPICS server installation stops and it hangs around 66-67% for a long time, up there through about 72%. And that's because that's where it's actually building the Informix database and making all those entries. There's a lot of stuff going on at that point. Now our UMS over here is ready to go. It's asking if I want to reboot now. Let's say yes. So the UMS is done. Now I started this installation at 4:50 p.m. So I may pause here a couple points just because there are some things here that take a while. I'll let you know what the elapsed time is here at the end of this little video. In the meantime, let's see if the UMS has recovered for us yet. Okay, well, it's about 4:55 now, and my UMS is back, and IPICS is at 58%. You really don't have to do this because IPICS will do this for you, but I like to check a couple things here, like taking a look at my host file, and I see I have my UMS entry in here. If I want to make life a little bit easier for IPICS, I can actually put a static entry in for the IPICS server. And there are a couple things that are come in really handy for you when you get to the configuration phase for IPICS. I brought over my little IPICS notepad. Now I've got my IP addresses for my IPICS and my UMS. I've decided I want to have a location called IPICS demo. This is one of the first things you need to configure when you're setting up IPICS. I'm going to set the security up to be very low on this, meaning very simple passwords without special characters and things like that. You'd never do that in the real world, but for a demo system, it makes life easy when I go down here and look at my users with 4-character names, and I actually make the passwords the same for the demo systems because everyone can remember their name as a password. I also have decided what to call my channels, and I've set aside the multicast addresses. I'm going to assign those channels, and I've set aside the ports for them. And then I've set up the multicast range for my pool here for my VTGs. And really, that's about it. Also, there's some PIN numbers down here for folks using the midlet to dial into the phone. That little bit of information is going to make my IPICS installation very easy. You'll see over here, going back over to this screen, that we're still at 58%. and taken some time with IPICS, let's go over here very quickly and put an entry in the host file for IPICS. And we're going to call that ipics.demo.cisco.com. Make sure we call it IPICS again, so we can do long and short. Now, the next thing I can do here is I can actually SSH over to the IPICS machine. This will help us establish some of our trust relationships while we're waiting. And it wants the password. All right. And come back over here to the UMS. And the UMS is pretty much ready. Now we're just waiting on IPICS. So we're going to pause again. It's now 4:59. It's been 10 minutes. Okay, well, I went out, got a glass of water, came back, visited with a friend. It's now 5:05, and the installation just finished. So now we're asked, do we want to reboot? Yes, we do. And that system is going to go down for a reboot. SSH'd over to that IPICS from the UMS system also, checking and making sure there was an entry in that host table. And there was. That one's closed. I can actually log out over here now from the UMS. We're pretty much done over here. And now we need to wait for the OS to reboot here on the IPICS server and for the IPICS system to start. Until that time, we won't get a IPICS login screen. But we're basically done now installing Cisco IPICS and the UMS 4.8. It's now 5:06 p.m., basically 15, 16 minutes, and we were done. Watch for my next segment of Simplifying Cisco IPICS, where we'll actually walk you through the install.